Sorry. I was just drinking a jar of my own. Never mind! Welcome to Reckless Disagreement, the only show on the internet you can trust. I'm your host, a timid megalomaniac, and the last time you watched Star Wars, did you find yourself wondering where the rebels got the plans for the Death Star? If so, here's your answer. Or if you prefer an overcomplicated version. Alright, look, I've never made a prequel. In fact, I've never made a movie at all and probably shouldn't be so smug when I'm making fun of them. But I've got some opinions about Rogue One. The mainstream media would have you believe that it's just a good movie about some Star Wars, but I found a copy under some boxes while I was digging around for food last week, and I watched it, and folks, it is so much more than that. Rogue One is an attack on everything you hold dear because it makes all the things that happen in Star Wars ridiculous. The good guys become bad, the bad guys become stupid, and the plot becomes pointless. Everything just topsy-turvy to hell and back. So let me finish this and we'll get right to it. Yeah, it's definitely better if I let it cool down. Princess Leia is an action hero who accidentally found herself in a damsel in distress situation and was immediately like, F that.
Somebody has to save our skins.
And she compared Darth Vader to a naughty puppy.
Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash.
Or an abused child. And most impressively, in her very first scene, she keeps her wits about her in a stressful situation, improvising a clever lie to keep the Death Star plans safe from Vader's aggressive gesticulations.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
At least that seemed clever in 1977. When Rogue One came out, it revealed that Leia was trying to get away with her Imperial Senate line 5 minutes after a gritty and action-packed laser light show. She was just on the front lines of the very first battle of a Star War, and now she's all, what? That wasn't me. Vader saw her get the plans. What we thought was a badass defiance becomes, with this context, as pathetic and unconvincing as a panicked 15-year-old insisting that the pack of American spirits in her jacket is totally Jessica's. Or like someone saying to the cops, seriously, Ossifer, I hasn't been jinxing, as her overturned Camaro explodes behind her. Also, this is a different thing. Vader knows she has the plans and is a traitor, so why didn't she just blow up her ship? Why didn't Vader just blow up her ship? Why didn't Vader You know what? Never mind. Rogue One is not kind to Leia's legacy, and I'm talking about more than just that creepy CGI face. I'm talking about this.
An analysis of the plans provided by Princess Leia.
Oh, they were obtained by Princess Leia, were they? What was her contribution again?
The transmission we received.
Oh, so like a 5-minute walk. Cool. I understand that she's important, and I'm not trying to cut down Leia, but how come nobody ever mentions the spy who built the fatal flaw into the Death Star in the first place?
I've placed a weakness deep within the system. A flaw so small and powerful they will never find it.
Or that spy's daughter, Jyn, who sacrificed her life to steal those plans. Or her buddy Cassian, who's been casually offing civilians in the name of the rebellion since childhood, apparently.
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Think maybe they deserve some credit. Oh, and then there was that blind guy with the stick. And this guy, he was, like, brave. Then there's all the people who died in that giant battle. Leia's the most famous and least important member of a huge team, but she gets all the credit, like the rebellion's Stan Lee. And wait, if the rebellion has been going on since Cassian was 6, how come they've only now managed to gather their forces?
We've only now managed to gather our forces.
Seems like the rebellion kind of blows. More on that in a bit. First, let's talk about Grand Moff Tarkin, like Leia, spends most of his Star Wars casually throwing shade at an 8-foot-tall robot space wizard.
I'm taking an awful risk, Vader. This had better work.
What a boss, right? It turns out he's just some f***ing guy taking credit from director Krennic, who actually designed and built the Death Star.
I will tell him that I will be taking control over the weapon I first spoke of years ago, effective immediately.
We stand here amidst my achievement!
Krennic's sort of a whiner, but it's also hard to be intimidated by Tarkin now that I know he's just one of the Bobs from Office Space. That shouty nerd was overseeing the project from the beginning and even personally recruited the people who made the weapon possible. Now, I know space office politics is like not the most interesting thing to be talking about in this video, but this is the second time Rogue One has gone out of its way to let us know that a character we once thought was cool isn't actually cool. The Empire is run by a bunch of scheming suits, and not the scary kind of scheming. The annoying kind of scheming that makes you unpopular. This last shot is very different if the Empire is just Dilbert. Like Wally and Catbert were just incinerated and had their remains hurled into the icy void of space. I don't know, it bugs me. Remember Admiral Motti? He's the guy who was talking up the Death Star in this scene, saying, "This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it." And then Vader is like, "Don't be too proud of this technological tower you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet," this is just Bane, I'm just doing Bane, "is insignificant next to the power of the Force." Which is a bit like interrupting a shareholders meeting to say marketing did a great job, but the real hero here is Jesus. But anyway, Motti's reply is, "Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels hidden for..." Sorry, it went down the wrong hole. Bad moment for a sip in retrospect. The point is, choking people is Vader's signature management technique. Motti seemed like kind of a dummy before Rogue One even came out, but now we also know that not only was this going on, but so was this. And there's also no way he thinks his devotion to the Force is sad when it gives you the ability to waste a hallway full of dudes in 28 seconds flat. Yeah, I timed it, what? It's possible that this is Motti's first day and he decided to make an impression as a tough guy by insulting the only guy in the room who's allowed to wear a cape to the meeting, but that just seems like a bad idea. We have not yet met a competent member of the Empire, so how come the rebellion doesn't just steamroll them? Well, I'm glad you asked that, straw man voice in my head, because boy oh shucks, have I got an answer for you. Now that we're near the end of my video, let me finally actually explain the plot of Rogue One. First, the rebellion recruits Jyn Erso to investigate the Death Star.
He's claiming the Emperor is creating a weapon with the power to destroy entire planets.
But when she brings back a report, they're split between not believing her.
A Death Star? This is nonsense.
What reason would my father have to lie? What benefit would it bring him?
To lure our forces into a final battle to destroy us once and for all.
Risk everything. Based on what? The testimony of a criminal.
And thinking they should just surrender.
If the Empire has this kind of power, what chance do we have?
What chance do we have?
There is no hope.
I say the rebellion is finished!
In the end, they compromise and say that they don't believe her, and they're going to surrender.
I'm sorry, Jim. Without the full support of the Council, the odds are too great.
They prefer to surrender.
But why send her in the first place if you're not going to believe her, you might ask? Or maybe, that's stupid, but I'm not done. After that meeting, Jyn and her buddies defy the rebellion and go to steal the Death Star plans anyway. Then the rebellion finds out and launches an attack, which makes the Empire put up their shields, trapping our heroes on the planet to explode and die. So to recap, Jyn Erso and her buddies single-handedly saved the rebellion in exchange that got screwed over by bureaucracy and written out of history. So all the credit for their accomplishments was given to a smuggler, a farm boy, a princess, and a monkey, which is a pretty good name for a folk song. And now we've reached what this means. Disney and Gareth Edwards are trying to ruin Star Wars. Why? I don't know. To make room for more Marvel movies? To turn us all into communists? Probably that one. Whatever the case, we have to do whatever it takes to stop them. And by we, I mean you, because like, this is sort of embarrassing, but the door to this bunker only opens from the outside, and I'm not getting a cell reception down here, and I'm quickly running out of food, and I long ago ran out of fresh water. So if anybody wants to call the head of Cracked, or even just come by and, you know, never mind. Don't worry about it. I got this covered. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. No worries. Thanks for watching. Princess, a farm boy, a smuggler, a monkey, you're on an adventure tonight. An old-fashioned blaster, the Millennium Falcon, and a boy's daddy's saber light. Thanks for watching Reckless Disagreement. If you want to see more videos like this, click on another Cracked video. If you want to subscribe, hit the big C. If you want to get notified next time we do a video, click on the bell. And viva la resistance, my friends.